Just in case.
Just in case why?
We might need to refer to it for the latter. I love the fact that we haven't done this all year because we haven't been prepared. We didn't want to do it unless we actually knew what we were doing. But here we are again, and we haven't prepared anything.
Back by popular demand.
Back by popular demand. Good afternoon, good evening, and hello. Welcome to an episode of Lebs On League, special 2013 season.
An impromptu episode.
Impromptu episode. It's towards the end of the season. We're around 22. There's 5 games left, and we pretty much have worked out who the top 4 are going to be. We don't know who the rest of the 4 are going to make up that top 8. But this is the episode that we had to have. I think there's a lot of questions that have been asked. We just can't get enough rugby league at the moment. I don't care how many shows are on Fox and Channel 9 and all this stuff.
It's funny, I should stop you on that point though. Can't get enough rugby league. I beg to differ. Which is going to lead into my point. Consider it like a leading. Last weekend,
Yep.
Canberra played Melbourne. 13 tries were scored in the game. So
That's a great game.
They allocate you 90 seconds to kick a goal.
Yep.
So 90 seconds,
Yep.
plus then to walk back, place it and kick off another 30 seconds. That's 2 minutes of lost play every time there's a try scored.
Yeah.
13 tries in that Canberra-Melbourne game. 13 times 2, that's 26 minutes. That's without walking to pack scrums, balls going into touch, dropouts. So you could have lost half an hour. Way more than half an hour.
Half an hour in just walking back and resetting.
Lining up for a goal kick, going through the motions and stuff. Now,
So they
you can't get enough footy. I'm saying to you, not getting enough footy, we're getting shortchanged.
So Canberra got smashed in half an hour.
In half an hour? Well, in 45, 50 minutes. 64 points.
Yeah, but I think for the Canberra fans, I think that felt like 8 years.
Well, what you got to keep in mind is, if a side is down by 2 points, they sprint into a scrum from 100 metres away.
Yeah, are you suggesting that we do that every time we
Well,
score a try?
here's the thing. As soon as the referee points at the spot,
Yeah,
the clock ticks when there's general play.
Yeah.
If a try is scored, there's no more play.
Yeah.
Play has ceased. Why is the clock ticking?
because people want to finish and then go home and make some baked beans or something.
Well,
toast, I
you
don't
go
know.
through every code of football in the world. Soccer, union, Aussie rules,
I know, but
gridiron.
Bass, have you watched the game of gridiron?
No, don't worry about gridiron.
It's like golf. You got to put it away.
They have timeouts. That's completely different. But what I'm trying to say is everybody, all footy codes around the world have injury time or stoppage time or some time that's allocated at the end for a little bit of lost time. We, on the other hand, run the clock down as much as we can. How many times have you seen your side and you go, oh, if there was 2 more minutes, we were coming home with a wet sail. But because of all the time wasting that goes on.
Well, that's part of the game. Yeah, I guess, but I've never thought about that. I mean, have you thought about that
All the
prior
time.
to...
All the time, all the time, all the time.
And does it tick you off?
It ticks me off. Because at the end of the day, the longer the game goes, the more the little man will come into play. The longer the game goes, you'll start to get some guys having to like really pull their weight. You know, the gladiatorial part of the game comes back in. The attrition factor, you know what I mean? It's been taken away from the game. Nowadays, you score a try, you put your hand up, it's time for a break.
Oh, yeah, that's different though. That's completely... I'm
But
just
that's what I'm
thinking...
trying to say to you.
But what I'm thinking of is how much time I spend watching rugby league and how much time my wife thinks I'm wasting my time and I need to be doing something else. If we actually increase the game by another half hour to an hour, because we're taking into account injury time, stoppage and all these other things that sort of stop play, then I don't think I'm allowed to follow football anymore.
Is that what you're worried about?
Yeah.
So what if that costs you a grand final? Some side dawdling up because they want to pack a scrum. And Souths haven't won one in 42 years, may I add. What if somebody wastes
How long
time?
did it take for that to happen?
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back. Look,
If you lost the grand final because there was a dropout to be taken and the side used up 40...
I remember countless times where I just thought we needed an extra
And that's
couple
how
of minutes or
that's
couple
how
of
a game
seconds.
should be won. If a side has to resort to time-wasting tactics, they don't deserve to win a game.
This is an issue that I've never heard raised before.
Raise it all the time.
Who raises it all
I
the
raise
time?
it all the time.
Who
I actually
raised that
specifically raised it this morning to TK and Slats on the radio.
I need to listen to that show more often, just so I can hear you more often.
You wouldn't be the first.
It's 5 games to go, and what we're looking at the moment is we're looking at a team that started off like a raging bull, and everyone thought that they were predicting they were definitely going to be the winners of this year's season. That's South Sydney, of course. Now the wheels have come off only in the last few rounds, and we're a bit up in the air. And we'll have a chat about that in a minute. But now all of a sudden we're looking at another team that had a slower start to the year, but have been going through consistently and almost under the radar for most of the season up until the last few weeks. Everyone's now saying that they're going to be the hot favourites to take out the premiership. What's it, 5 points? 2.5 games behind. We've got the Storm and Manly. Now there's 4 more teams to make up that top 8. Those spots are still up for grabs.
I think they're pretty much decided. I really do.
Outside of the top 4,
yeah.
Is there anyone that we need to be speaking about of potentially taking out this premiership?
Bulldogs. Number 5.
Yep.
Canberra on their day.
On their day. And I think,
look at it this way.
I think when you always say on their day, they're never really going to take out a premiership.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? To win a grand final, a lot of things have got to go your way anyway on the day. So that's part of on the day.
But that means that they've got to go through on the day, the final series, on the day, get to the grand final. I think that's too much.
Earlier in the year, Melbourne were on a record-breaking run. I think they'd won 15 straight, and they were challenging for the Roosters' all-time record from 78, I think it was, of about 20-something games. But 19 games, sorry. His Foundation Club. Anyway, Canberra went down to Melbourne and beat them and broke that run. So now Canberra haven't lost at home for 13 rounds. Melbourne come up and return the favour. You can put that... That was a hiccup for Melbourne when it happened down there. This could be a hiccup for Canberra that happened here. But Canberra can damage some sides. So I reckon Bulldogs, Canberra still have a shake, Cronulla, mate, if you keep in mind what Cronulla as a club has endured this season.
And we're not talking aside of this episode, don't want it.
We're not talking about it, don't care. Considering what they've gone through as a club,
and where they've become, I agree.
And Gallen was injured. Luke Lewis is injured. Wade Graham spent some time injured, but they're in the 8.
They're in the 8.
If they,
one of the few teams that have taken out South Sydney this year.
And I'm telling you, Fafita's an Origin player. Paul Gallen, mate, their back row Tupou, Bakuya, Wade Graham, Luke Lewis. They got Todd Carney firing. I'll tell you what, Parramatta would kill to have Jeff Robson back right now.
Okay, so so there's you're saying the Bulldogs in Canberra still potentially can take out this season. However, we're looking at the top 4 as the main 4 potentials to win. They're the hot favourites. The Roosters are definitely the hot favourites at the moment. Storm are starting to find some form again. Nobody likes Manly, so we're just hoping that they're not going to...
Well, let's put it this way.
They're one of the people you never want to face in the finals.
Absolutely. If any side makes the grand final, if you ask them who don't you want to play, it would be Manly.
Yeah, so
Manly can beat anyone. And that's coming from a Rooster supporter too.
Now, the other day, I called you up. I was looking for support. I called Bass. I wanted him to make me feel better. You know, South Sydney just lost again. We're not looking great. At the wrong end of the season, we're starting to fall to pieces. So I called Bass and I want him to start to make me feel better by telling me the positives and telling me why they can still win the premiership. It's the first thing you said to me. You wanted to make it painfully clear. I'll help you out.
Did I say to you, do you think you're going to make the grand final?
No. The first thing Bass says, I just want to make this clear. I want to throw it out there to start with. I have absolutely no pity, no care, and not an iota of any sort of remorse for a South Sydney fan or player at the moment. So we got that clear.
Correct.
Now let me tell you why they won't win the grand final. So that wasn't... it didn't work. I didn't feel great at the end of that conversation.
Can I ask you a question in all honesty? What were you doing thinking that you're going to ring a Rooster supporter for some comfort? Or
because the same reason why you're here. You are a walking encyclopedia of rugby league and you do know the game a lot better than most people I know. On television, radio, and in general public. So I'm looking for some real answers. And you gave me some real answers. No
Look, the truth is, Souths are going to finish in the top 4. That's all that matters. Souths are going to finish in the top 4. Right? So at the end of the day, regardless whether you finish 1, 2, 3 or 4 in the top 4, to win the grand final you've got to beat 1 or 2 of those sides. So regardless where you finish. Many a side have had a hiccup along the way leading into the finals. I don't understand why all South fans have gone, oh God, this could happen to us again.
Oh, that's only because we've got 2 major players out at the moment injured.
Who?
Well, Inglis
Inglis is back this week.
Yeah, he's not sure whether he's back this week.
I hope he's back.
Today.
I hope he's back this week.
Yeah, which means that he won't be playing next week.
Oh, I hope he's back.
Sutton's obviously out for a few weeks now. And then for the last 2 games in a row, I've seen Reynolds go down and not look 100%, which means that he's not 100% at the moment.
Correct.
But having said that, wouldn't it be brilliant to have a Souths and Roosters grand final? I think this is what the NRL fans are looking for.
I don't think it's what the NRL fans are looking for.
They are.
I think the NRL needs this grand final. 2 foundation clubs.
Yep.
2 foundation clubs. 2 histories. 2 very long, rich, illustrious histories. There's a rivalry. A very, very, very big rivalry.
Absolutely. 2 Sydney-based clubs.
2 Sydney. Like, I tell you, the NRL needs this grand final. This would generate more publicity and more excitement around it than any grand final has. I'm going to go out on a limb here, probably the last 30 years.
Maybe the last 42 years. But if we,
It's a long bow.
if we look at the lineup, and this is what you said to me, this is what you mentioned the other day, the lineup. We're looking at 2 teams that, even with South's current form, which is a hiccup, let's face it. If we put these two teams head to head in the grand final, and we look at the 2 fullbacks, Inglis, Minicello, and then we just rattled off everyone. We went from the backs, the halves, to all the forwards. It is a colossal game. It will be the most exciting grand final that we've had in a long time.
It would be.
It has to happen. So I guess before we end this program, I'm going to ask Manly to think about the good of the game. I'm going to ask Melbourne Storm. Think about the good of the game.
Well, we do want to speak about Asada, but now they're confiscating phones. So Watmouth's phone's been taken. And
Watmout? I didn't know that Watmout was even being looked at.
Well, why? The whole Manly club was being looked at. Des Hasler was being looked at because he was at Manly when it happened. Let's not go into this now. It's not important. There's Origin wash up, another series loss.
And how much do we like Origin? I love Origin.
No, stop it.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. 8 what have we just got?
You're about to sign off. You're back. Hey.
No, but we just have to, we'll touch on it. We might cut it out because it's taking too long. How much do we love Origin? So, New South Wales have just been embarrassed again. 8 straight.
No, you can't say that. You know what they're going to say to you? We just lost by 2 points.
We just lost by 2 points.
Last year we lost by just 1 point.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know what? Queensland do what they have to get across the line. They don't care if it's 1, 2, 50, 100, 150. They carried Greg Inglis for 3 games, not 100%. And they still won.
I know. And let's have a look at what happened to the Melbourne Storm during this period. As they always do, they suffer, they lose games, and they've got to get their momentum back. It hurts them. We've lost Inglis as a result of that. We were waiting for a serious marquee player to have an injury as a result of this series. When are we going to get it right and put this at the end of the season after the grand final?
Okay, there's only one solution. I have the solution. It's easy. You assign a fortnight for Origin when no other games happen. You play one Origin on a Monday, you play one on the Sunday, and then you play one the next Friday. And then the following week, you're back to the NRL games. No other games happen.
It'll just be like a summer break.
The what's it called? The British and Irish Lions came out, and that's exactly how they played their test matches. 1, 3 quick ones. They stopped all the Super 12 season. They played. They got out of there quickly. Play an Origin on a Monday, an Origin on a Sunday, an Origin the following Friday. You're getting 6 days rest. We're done and dusted the following week, but you're back to the NRL schedule. The players get to rest. It's over and done with.
I like the idea. I like it. It's a solution. Okay, let's see if we can put that in play. We'll start seeding that information with the NRL. We'll keep you posted as to how we're going with that.
Please play this week, Greg. Please play.
Yeah, look,
Souths need you.
I'm okay because I don't know how. Never mind. But anyway, look. Thank you for watching again. There's obviously so much to talk about. We can't fit them all into the one episode. We're going to do our best, very best, to try and come back next week and the week after that. But in case we don't, thanks. Have a fantastic 2013. Congratulations, South Sydney, on taking out the premiership. And we look forward to seeing you guys as soon as we can.
And I'd love to rewind that and show that to him after the loss.
I just put the mocker on there.
Absolutely. That's it. Go.